biggest lesson I learned about enoughness was in third grade when I was 8 years old, and me and all my friends were getting our first electric devices. Back then it used to be an iPod. At that time I saw the iPods other adults and older kids would have. It was this iPod 4, I think, in white with like a silver background, and I found this was so cool. So for Christmas I wanted to have this iPod, and I didn't know that there was actually a newer version, which was the iPod 5, which kind of looked like the iPhone 5, just you couldn't call with it. And it was like way more modern, it was bigger, had a bigger and better screen, the colors were better, and it was also thinner. Like, it would just beat the iPod 4 in every single way. While all my friends, they were getting the newest version because their parents thought, okay, why get them the older version if there's a newest one? They would all get the iPod 5. I was the only one who got the iPod 4 because I didn't know that there was a better version, and I just wanted to have this one. So I was actually really happy when I got it for Christmas, and I found it so cool. And actually also my parents and other adults that I showed it to, they also said, oh yeah, it looks really cool and it's so thin and stuff. And because I didn't see a lot of my friends back then, I didn't compare myself to them, right? I was just content with having this iPod, with being able to play games on it like Clash of Clans or Doodle Jump. It was really a long time ago, and these games then were not that old, so I was just content with what I had. Then a few days later, after I got the iPod, I would meet with a friend. He used to live next door, and like his grandmother used to live next door, and so he was there to visit. We were both having our iPods, we were both playing games and stuff. He was going on and telling me how great his iPod were, that the new functions and stuff, that they were so great, and that his iPod was better than mine. And actually I'm really surprised of myself, because back then I was just an 8-year-old kid and I didn't know anything about philosophy. I just knew that, as I said, I really wanted to have this iPod. Like, I wanted to have the white one with the silver back. I didn't care about the other stuff. When he was going on saying that his iPod was so great, at a point I said, yeah, I think mine is cool as well. And that's probably the biggest lesson I learned of enoughness, because of course I could have gotten envious of him, and I could have felt bad that I didn't have the same iPod as him or as all my other friends, and that I was the only one with the older version. Actually, like, as a little kid, I was really okay with it. I was just okay that what I had was enough, and I didn't feel the need to get a new one, even though I had times then later on where I would have liked that, when I saw that the colors were so much brighter and just in general it looked so much cooler, this new iPod. But in that moment I felt enoughness for the first time. I felt like I didn't have to prove a point to anyone. Felt like I didn't have to defend myself and say, yeah, but this iPod can do this and this, and it has so cool functions as well, and actually our iPods are the same. I didn't feel the need to compare myself. I was just content with what I had. It was enough for me. It was all I could wish for, and therefore I didn't get envious. I didn't feel the need to compare myself. I was just okay, and that's the biggest lesson I've learned about enoughness. And so how can you apply this to your life? I think feeling enough has to start wherever you are. Whether you are already extremely rich and wealthy and you got everything you dreamed of, or if you are really poor and you can barely stay alive. There are always people who have it worse than you, who are in a worse position and who would love to be in your place. Maybe you have seen this picture on Instagram where it has like 4 slides. I will put it in the video at here, and there are like 2 cars, and then one car owner says, oh my god, I wish I had a better car. And then the next slide is where a guy on his bike said, if only I could afford a car. Then you see a guy who's walking on the street and he says, oh my god, I wish I had a bike. And in the end there's a guy in a wheelchair, and he looks at the guy who's walking the street and he says, okay, he can walk wherever he wants to go. This portrays my message perfectly, because all of these people, they were always looking at what other people had. They were always feeling like they didn't have enough, they needed to have that thing. And if you look at the guy in the wheelchair, all he wanted was just to walk. Like, he didn't want to drive the Ferrari, he just wanted to walk. And so for everybody who is able to walk, that's already enough. Like, there are so many reasons why you can feel enough. And I think the biggest one is just that if you watch this video, you're probably better off than 70% of the entire world population. If you look at developing countries, so many people there live in way worse conditions than people in the West do. So you just have to start by feeling like you have enough right now. You shouldn't put a target on a certain milestone. Like, you shouldn't say, I'll have enough once I have made my first million or once I am successful. That's also the message I said in my video, happiness is an illusion. If you always delay this feeling, you will never have it. So start right now. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. I think that having an ego is valid, and I also want to strive for more things. I want to improve myself. Of course, this channel is also about self-improvement next to philosophy and spirituality, of course. And I also want to make more money and want to have more things, but I'm already okay with what I have right now. I feel like it's enough. And I think actually it's like the same with the backwards law, that if you stop chasing something, it will just come to you naturally. So if you can really say that, like, you feel deep down in your heart that you have enough, then abundance and everything you want will flow your way, because your energy changes and you are in a state where you appreciate the things you have way more. It just changes your entire outlook on life. It just changes how you feel and how your body acts and how you react. And I think therefore you will actually get all the things you may want, but you don't need them, and therefore it's kind of easier to get them. I know this sounds super weird, but I think it works, or at least it works for me. Start off by feeling enough where you are, what you have right now. Don't strive for getting the same things other people have just because you feel you are not enough, you don't have enough. And if you only have what these people have, then you will be enough, because then if you try to do it on that scale, you will first have enough if you are the wealthiest person in the world. And what's the chances of that? Like, I think right now the wealthiest person in the world has like $200 billion or something. There will always people who have more than you, and there will always people who have less than you. And so you can just be grateful, and you can feel that you have enough for the things you already have, and you will become happy because of that. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to read some of your opinions in the comments. You can maybe share some of your stories. Maybe you have a similar story like me where you felt enoughness for the first time. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Write enough in the comments. I know this is kind of funny because this video is about enoughness all the time. Write it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.